everywhere for you guys. I have a surprise for you. Yep, I have a surprise. We are going to do a DIY. That's right, a DIY video. That's fun. I haven't done a DIY video. So this is the first. Yay! So I hope I'm good at it. Not sure. Guess we'll find out, won't we? Oh well. One way to learn. We'll just do it. What's my DIY? Is to take this holiday doll. Actually, she's a holiday marionette doll. And we're going to make her into a really cool Halloween doll. Make her creepy, spooky. Woo! She needs it. Okay. This is an older doll. These dolls, they don't make them anymore. I think they last they might have made these were in the 90s. You can still find these in thrift stores, maybe yard sales, and antique stores. That's where I usually find mine, is antique stores. Sometimes they're kind of pricey. They can be like $50 each or higher. Actually, some of them could be up like $100 and something. This one I got really lucky and I found her for $9. Here's why. You turn on her music, 2 switches down here. It's a little bad, but the important part is the other button. This is what still works. Her hands move in and out, her head turns side to side, and her little light works. You can leave the light on if you want to. If you'd rather just do that, paint the face and give her some creepy clothes, I'll show you how to do all that. Or you can follow all this DIY, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to put a teddy bear in her hands and make it look like she's ripping a teddy bear's head off. That's right. Normally when Pat and I do these, we go into some major details and we redo the motors, the batteries to rechargeable batteries, change the parts. We do all kinds of stuff. Of course, she gets a wonderful paint job by Pat. But I'm going to show you a simple way to do this. So it may not be as fancy, but it'll still be really cool and a lot of fun. Show you how to remove the light out of her hand. Show you how to do an easy paint job. You might even be able to do a whole lot better paint job than me. That's not my thing, the painting. That's why Pat does all the painting. But we'll give her a shot. And I'll show you how to make her some simple clothes. And again, how to put the teddy bear in her hand. And she's going to be super creepy cool when we get done with her. Oh yeah. So stick around. We're going to have some fun. And let's start ripping clothes off of dolls and slapping paint on them. And let's have some fun. First thing you want to do with these dolls is we're going to remove the clothes. There will be a lot of hot glue on the dolls. There'll be staples, so forth. So you'll need a few tools, and we'll need something to cut the wires. So you'll need some screwdrivers. Help pull out those staples, different size ones, and you'll need wire cutters. Ooh, and pliers will help. Okay, first one is we're going to pull out the staple. Sometimes the staples come right out. Other times they don't. But they're pretty long staples, as you can see. Okay, so we want to get this off of her, this hood first. And this hood is going to be glued right here around the neck, because that's where her head turns, and they have to have these kind of mechanisms and so the head will be separated from the rest of the body, and they don't want you to see that gap. So you want something to get in here and try to remove that glue without damaging the doll. Try some pliers again without damaging the head. There we go. Yep, it was definitely staples. These really long staples. Come out of there. Yay! I won! Yay! I succeeded. And now I'm gonna just pull it. Okay, here I'm just trying to get the head off. Not the head. Actually, we want to keep the head. I'm trying to get the hood off, and I just found this easier just to take the scissors and just cut it off. And now I'm taking off the dress. It's half velcroed and the seams are pretty loose, so I just rip it by hand. I know, I seem so strong. So I'm pulling the dress off of her now, and I can actually slide it over the light. If you can't and you don't want the dress, then just cut it off, or you may want to remove the light before you remove the dress. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, that I know I'm really rough with stuff, and it is going to look like I'm going to break this doll, but I haven't broke one yet, so let's hope I don't break this one. You can get the bulbs out. I mean, these are just little covers. Take the bulb out first. You can take pliers. There. Once you break the glue loose, then you can just kind of work it around and it will come out. The next thing we want to do here is we're just going to take our wire cutters or scissors, anything you have really sharp, and we're just going to cut that wire just like that. The next thing we want to do is we're going to want to paint her. Well, we got all of her clothes off and everything. We can paint her or we can make her an outfit first. We're going to make her some clothes. If you happen to get a doll and she already has like the white angel costume on, you can tear off the bows, you can rip off the wings. That sounds cruel, but you know what I mean. And you can just tea stain that dress, kind of cut it up and make it look old, and put it right back on her. This one, of course, had the red Christmas dress, which isn't going to work for the Halloween at all. So we're going to make her one, and we're going to make her something very quickly. You can do this out of old sheets, any old white tan fabric you want to. Actually, if you want color, you can do color. This is how you're going to set the doll up. We want it to be longer on the bottom because we want to cover all the mechanisms, and we got to cover the neck because, as you can see, get the hair out of the way so don't cut the hair. You want to cover all this part of the opening of her neck because it doesn't look so cool. I'm going to do this kind of rough, and what I want to do is I want to give her some kind of longer sleeves. So I'm going to cut this fairly wide, about 2 inches out. Probably should have started further out to make it a little baggier. We're going to go like this, and then we're going to kind of angle it in a little bit, and then we're going to stop. And then what we want to do is we want to give her kind of this longer angle sleeve. So let's start, I don't know, like about 3 inches from the arms, and just cut this out just like that. And what you can do to try to get the same on each side, and we're not getting really fancy with this because this is just kind of a Halloween thing, so you can fold this over and get the very same on both sides if you want. And you're going to want to cut as small of a hole in the neckline as you possibly can. So what we can do now is we can remove the doll, and you can just fold this over about halfway to meet it on both sides, keeping this straight. That way you can get, did that not cut? Get it the same. I didn't get it cut all the way through on both layers. Right, this way you get the same cut on both sides for the sleeves. That one's kind of rolled up. So I'll cut it just a little bit longer. And again, we're not looking for 100% perfection or anything because she doesn't have to look fancy. Then what we're going to do is we're going to cut it. For the back, we're going to cut the fold straight down, but only through one layer of fabric. Actually, you can just rip this too. This is my favorite way of getting a straight line. So this is kind of going to be how it looks. And if you don't like that much of a hang down, you can take some of that out and make the sleeves a little straighter. I might do that later. We're going to sew it right up through here on both sides. Just so you have basically 3 ways you can do this. You can sew it on a sewing machine, you can hand stitch it, or you can use the bonding tape where you actually there's even fabric glues that you can use, so that's more. There's like 4 different things you can do. The bonding tape is the heat tape that you can put on it and then iron over it, and it sticks the fabrics together. However you want to do that. I'm a sewing machine person, so I'm going to run and sew on this, and I'll be right back. Okay, when I got to sewing this, I decided I didn't want those kind of angel-like sleeves, so I sewed them in a little bit. So I'm just going to cut that part off out of the stitch. Again, you can leave them if you want them. If you don't, you don't have to cut it. Now what I want to do is I want to give her just a little bit of a neckline. So I'm going to right down where the middle of this seam is, just a tiny little hole. because I want to make sure that it fits around her neck before we do any more cutting. So we'll take the doll, and we'll slide the arms through these. You can bend her arms back in some now. As you can see, so now we have this kind of outfit. Strings off. And we're going to rough this dress up, and then we're going to tea stain it. I'm going to show you how to rough it up. This is just some like particle board that I use. You can use anything that you don't mind messing up. So what you want to do is you're going to take the dress on here, and you're going to take something sharp like scissors, and you're just going to scrape it. And this will take a little while, but I'll tell you what it will do. It'll get out all those aggravations, all that bent up energy you have inside of you. And again, the dress does not have to look perfect. And you can do some cutting up on it. Just kind of do something, you know, like this, and then just scrape it all out. Chop it up. And then do the same thing with that cut, so it looks real throughout the whole dress. And then we'll be back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, next you boil some water. It doesn't have to be boiled, but it can just get it good and hot enough to dissolve the coffee. Pour in some cheap coffee. Then you're going to drop in your dress, mix it and make sure it soaks really good. Leave it for about an hour. Then add some extra coffee sprinkles on there just to give it some darker spots. And then after that, you will remove it, and you're going to put it on an old pan. This is an old one that I have. You can get them at thrift stores. And then you're going to stick it in the oven, and you're going to bake it on 250 until it's dry. So we're going to put the dress on her. Mine's still a little damp, but it'll dry. Little one that has a precision tip, and so it gets in the smaller areas. So I don't want much on here, just enough to hold it up while she's moving her head. So I'm just going to put a little bit across here, and then just going to stick this right on there. So what I'm going to do with her now is I'm going to glue the back of the dress together with a little bit of hot glue. I'm going to glue it just on the side, but not on the back, because again, we want her head to have free movement. Just put a little bit of glue. You can put more on yours if you choose to. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here on the back of her, and I'm going to just put a little bit of hot glue. Okay, I'm just putting a little dab here and a little dab there, just to keep the back closed, because nobody wants to see doll undies. Gotta cover up the doll undies. And this will be easy to remove if you want to change it, say on Christmas, and have a spooky Christmas doll. One more. Okay, two more. There's one and one more, and then voila, we're done. Looks good. And I'm leaving this open a little bit again for the head movement, and the hair will cover that, so you won't have to worry about that part of it. Alright, we'll turn her around. We want that hair wild and creepy because she is freaky. I got this at Walmart for like $1.94, and I think it'd be more fun to put this in her hands and show her ripping the wings off of the little doll. Cute idea, huh? I mean, there's no limit, guys, what you can do with this doll. You can do anything you want to, put anything you want in her hands. It's going to work, and it's going to look really cool. So let's get back to this. Let's get started on, let's do little changes to her face. Okay, here I'm adding some white chalk paint to help lighten her face up, because I thought it was a little too dark, and I like the chalk paint because it gives her kind of an aged look, and it wipes off easily, and it dries quickly. Alright, she's done. I like the outcome. It did take a couple of days of doing videos. I've never done a video that long, but I've never done a DIY video. Will I do another one? That's something I'm really gonna have to put some thought into. The editing also took a couple of days. The only other video that took me this long was the AliExpress video. That took a long time. But anyway, she's done. This is how she looks. At one time, her face looked like this. That was bad. No, Pat didn't see that one. Thank goodness. So that's why I went back over her face with the white paint. She looks a little better, a little creepier, a little ghostly looking. I was going to put a teddy bear in her hand originally. Normally I make the teddy bears, but I wanted to do a video that anyone could do of this doll with things that anybody could make. And so if you go uptown and you buy a little stuffed teddy bear, I thought that'll be great. You can cut the head off, put it in the hands, it'll work. But I couldn't find one that fit it right. I bought one, but a little big, and it looked really awkward. Instead, I bought this little doll that are at Walmart for $1.94, and they're called Sparkle Girls. So what I did is I had removed her wings and put the wings in her hand and the doll in the other, and looked like she's ripping the wings off. I know. Anyway, I liked the fact that she has bright colors because that kind of lightened it up since she's very, very monotone. But she was a little too shiny. So I took some red paint and with a paintbrush and just kind of dabbed it on her until to make it look like there's blood. And I attached her with hot glue, using a hot glue gun. But I couldn't video it because you have to get so close in there to set it up just so perfectly that I couldn't get the camera view on it well enough to video it. So just going to tell you what I did. I used hot glue and I attached her that way and got her all set up. And the easiest way to do it is wait till her hands are close together, shut it off, and then you can kind of set it up the way you need to set them up. I also let the hot glue drip a little bit on the bottom of her hands and then painted it red so it had that look like blood dripping. So anywhere that there's hot glue, I just added red paint. All in all, she turned out pretty cute. So I'm going to let you guys see a video. At the end of this, you'll see a video of her where it's kind of a dark atmosphere, so she has that creepy Halloween look. Also, stay to the end because one of our Jagged family members, Teresa Kennedy, has a small shop on Etsy, and I would like to see you guys help support her shop. She makes BJD jewelry, and it's really cute and priced excellent. At the end of the video, I'll show you some pictures of her jewelry, and at the bottom of this video, I will put a link to her little Etsy shop. So help support her. Again, guys, thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate it. If you guys have subscribed, I am so happy to have you as a part of our Jagged family. If you haven't, hurry up because we would love to have you as a member of our Jagged family. If you liked the video, and you know you did, do a thumbs up. Ring the bell because you want to know when the next video is coming, especially for the giveaway one that we're going to do on Halloween night. We're getting very close to Halloween. So I guess all I have to say now is bye and happy Halloween.